What's up, everybody? This is episode number 34. I think it's 34 of Rolling with Reason. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. If you are here, I am just, for some reason, I feel very good about this episode. I don't know if it's because of just how my week has been going and I did something really hard. That's kind of going to be what I go with. I shot a video production kind of thing, and I made some content out of it, and I did it completely for free, and it felt really nice. I put myself under a severe time crunch, and what do I mean by that? I quite literally mean I shot it and had 1,700 photos and over like I think a hundred clips of video. My hair looks crazy. That's cool. I don't care. I just kind of want to throw it out there because it feels crazy right now. But yeah, so I had over 100 videos, and so I think I shot that content from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. So I had 4 hours, and I got 1,700 photos, and then I also had over 100 like short videos. And so I had to take all of those, I had to review it, and then I put it into DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing process, and I just worked through all of that content and made the best thing that I can make within, I think, like 10 hours, I think is what I spent on it. So on the next day, on that Saturday, I spent 10 hours working on it, and I'm not happy with what the product was that came out, but I'm happy that I was able to complete it in that short amount of time. But it was because of resilience and grit that I was able to do that. And so, with that being said, that means I think I'm getting better in that area of expertise. You know, so that's promising, and that makes me feel good. I hope you guys had a good week. I hope everything's going smooth. Um, Thank you. Just thank you for tuning in. If you tune in and you listen to this from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I have no actual idea what I'm doing here. From weekend to weekend, my emotional state drastically different. Um, and I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. I wish someone I wish I could like teach myself the secret to figuring that out and being in that state 24/7, but I hate to say it, I don't think that's meant to be, you know. I think that's something that is quite literally impossible, and it would suck if everything was rainbows all the time and we always felt as good as I guess I feel now, because this is like one of those moments when I just feel like, you know, even though nothing I feel like is going right in my life, like everything's still going right, like, and I'm happy that, you know, I'm just here and like doing whatever this is that I'm doing. And you know, if you guys watch this and you enjoy it, leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know so I can chat with you. Um, there's one guy out there that's been leaving comments recently. I see you, baby. I see you and I hear you. And I appreciate that so much, man. I get an email notification about it. Any of my friends that know me, any of you guys that know me, you know that like I am super serious about decluttering my email and keeping my technological stack in line so I don't have like this cognitive overload thing. So much so that I have that little light phone, right? And so I just try and like be very minimal on some aspects of my life. And so when you guys leave comments, though, I see it. I see those. I get to read those, and that is awesome. And I love that. So thank you for leaving the comments. To kind of touch on the comment, I think it was something along the lines of not being able to compete, and there was a sense of disparity and like depression that I felt when I read that. And I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm right there with you. It's unfortunate sometimes that we can't compete, but in those moments, those are the moments that, you know, really show us who we are. You know, are you the person that is kind of sad that you can't compete, or are you the person that's like, um, just like whatever, like I don't care? And I guess it's okay to say whatever, I don't care, you know, if it's a valid reason. But I feel like for me personally, like it still is like super unfortunate, and it's like like man, I could have competed. I could have, like, you know, got to see some of my jujitsu friends and that sort of thing. And so, I'm sorry, I kind of left it out. For anybody that doesn't know, who's tuning in and listening, we're talking about the Arnold Classic. That's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament, and so many people show up. And I think it's a very good tournament. And you know, it's one of the biggest, probably one of the best tournaments in Ohio, I would say. And there's just so many people that show up, so many celebrities, and it's just a cool event. It's been going on for so long now, and it's amazing. And so getting to compete in that is awesome. Yeah, so you know, if you're a jiu-jitsu person, it's something you definitely want to compete in, I think. And if not, it just sucks. And so if you're in the case where you got an injury or something, it's unfortunate. But us being upset that we can't compete is a huge contributor, I think, to our later success, and that's going to be all right. So I guess this is kind of my answer to your comment. I feel you, man. I feel your pain. I feel it. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it. But to move right along, yeah, so I am figuring out some stuff with DaVinci that I think is going good. DaVinci is my video editing software, and I I don't really understand sometimes like what I'm doing in this realm or in that realm. I'm just kind of like learning as I'm going, like having fun, like trying to do different stuff. And you know, sometimes you get tired and you wonder whether or not you should like keep pushing forward or if you should wait. Like, is there a creative like barrier there, like optimization? At least I think about that stuff. And so when I'm kind of in those moments and I'm thinking about that, I'm like, nah, it'll be okay. Like I'm gonna figure this thing out one way or another, and I'm just gonna keep pushing through. And that's kind of what I did, at least for that recent video project that I did. I just kind of like kept pushing through and pushing through, and I was like, you know what, this is okay. That's all right. And so that's how that went, and I thought that was a lot of fun, and I'm happy that I did that. You know, there's stuff that I already see, like looking back on it, just like the next day, I'm like, oh, I could have done that better, or I could have done this better, or you know, just like still listening to the feedback and stuff that came like with the video, you know. And I think that's an important thing, you know, being able to take that constructive criticism and kind of navigate and move forward with that stuff that you're trying to do. You know, I think that's how we form and we create those relationships that are meaningful to us. And you know, the people that are willing to be, you know, constructively critical about what it is that we're doing, and you know, emphasis on constructive, and being able to articulate what they felt like could have been done differently. You know, that's the most important, right? Because those, you know, I feel like those people are being analytical of our content and analytical in our style. And so that's something that, you know, we take very seriously, and I think is very beneficial, at least going forward, as far as making us better at whatever that thing is that we're trying to do. So yeah, the video editing stuff is good. I'm gonna finish tailoring up the Arnold's video, which is where I didn't compete, but I did some evaluations of matches and stuff, and that's gonna be over on the Off Grid Grappler channel. And I'm gonna post it up soon because I feel like I haven't posted there forever. And so that's coming down the pipeline very soon, and so we're gonna get that out, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, moving right along, programming this week and typing. We are cruising, baby. We are on the deployment process of our web application. I am absolutely ecstatic about it. But before we get into the deployment part, I want to go ahead and talk about the continuation of making multiple models within a certain segment of an app. And so what do I mean by that? Models are like tables. They're like your Excel spreadsheets. We have rows, and then we have the columns, right? And so our fields, those are the columns that we're making, and then the rows are every single entry that gets added. Well, let's say we make a table over here, and then we make another table over here. We want to link those two tables together. That's called a foreign key. And so what we did was we had this thing called articles, which is where you kind of like make a post and you talk about what's going on, almost like a blog in some way, right? And so we have that set up, but we were like, hey, we want to add comments to that. And so the way that we do that is by adding a form and being able to have the form on a page that has the article on it and all kinds of cool stuff. We have these things called, I believe, tablature inline and comment inline. So the people that are like running the site can see more of the information in the articles area versus the other area. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a lot all at once, a lot of technical terms. Listen, we're linking Excel spreadsheets together. Stuff's going to go to that realm, and then that's what progressively made us go to the next section. And we learned a lot about like different ways to handle states of the site. So when you click on something, you're pretty much saying, hey, like, I want that data, or hey, I want to see that data, or like, hey, I want to give you this data. And so we learned how to work with that and kind of create what they call a wrapper class. And so that wraps around two of the forms that we created, and we're able to display the form on a page that didn't normally have a form. And so I thought that was really cool. But moving on into the deployment process part, so we're starting to learn about the packages and the configurations that are needed for what's called a PAAS. That is a platform as a service. And so platform as a service is a great thing in today's society. Why? That's because it kind of abstracts away a lot of the complexities of what it means to be a server maintainer or a server administrator, or being the guy that configures the Docker containers, or being the guy that sets up the just the ins and outs of the database, and all this extra complexity. But however, we being the guy I am, me, myself, when I just like pile all this extra stuff onto my plate at the same time, including Spanish, we'll get to that in a second. But I want to be able to host on my own equipment, my own server, and I want to be able to set it up, and I want to be able to put the Docker containers on it and have everything there and have it make sense. But that is an intellectual grinding experience. And so to be able to do that, we need to really take the time and just grind out that learn, baby, and embrace that learn. And so I can feel that coming soon. We're already doing that with the PAAS. And so why are we going that route? That's because the book that we're learning from to do this stuff, The Django for Beginners by William S. Vincent, really shows us how to do that. And so that's the logical way to do it. And it's cheap. It's like 12 bucks a month. And so you pretty much rent out a piece of equipment from a data center, and they host the website for you, and they manage all the complexities that maybe you don't want to handle at first right away. And so that's awesome. That's amazing. That's like perfect for learning. And so I can't, overstate it enough. Like, that is awesome. And so that's going to be the route that we take to learn it. But as we start to transition to having our own websites and having our own stuff, I am definitely gonna go ahead and learn and teach myself how to do the other stuff too, because we have all the books for it. And then you guys may notice, I got another stack of books here. They were in some previous videos, but these are all Python books. And so yeah, learning more Python is always a plus, especially this first one, Dead Simple Python. It's going to teach us a lot more of kind of the fundamentals that maybe weren't caught in Python Crash Course by Eric Mathis. Now, Eric Mathis does an exceptional job. I don't want you guys to get me wrong, but that's like a crash course book. This is more of like an in detail, catching all the other bits, all the other little nuggets of information that are like exceptionally important for the language. And so we're going to dive into those as well. While we keep doing the deployment process, we keep just motivating ourselves and moving forward. And with that being said, I'm also looking at some automation stuff for working with mass amounts of photos, maybe that we don't want to like swift through in the first place and do all the edits and grading. And so that's one of the cool things about what we got going on here is we have some scripting and stuff and some website building. So in theory, we could build a website for somebody. We could take the photos and videos, take that content, display it on the website as we build the website for those people at the same time. And I just find it so fascinatingly awesome and cool that we are just building those skills. I am up here in this layer, just chipping away. Feel like I have next to no friends or contact with humanity or society, only when I am imbued with the environment of work. And so just kind of being up here doing that, and just seeing a little bit of the rewards and working hard and just moving in that direction, huge motivator for me. Makes me feel really good. And I guess that's one of the contributors as to why I feel better right now. Like, I feel pretty good right now. And so with that being said, that's going amazing, going exceptionally well. Spanish. I know I said something about Spanish. The español. Español es muy importante, güey. And so if you guys don't know what I just said there, I said that Spanish is very important, bro. And I'm liking it a lot. I'm working around a lot of different cultures within work, and I think it's awesome. It's amazing. And so I'm getting to experience another language and another way of what seems like just living, because different cultures have different ways of expressing themselves and just a state of being, I feel like, most of the time. And so being around guys that are speaking Spanish, I think is awesome, and I think it's going to only promote me and propel me to keep learning Spanish. And I am blessed enough to be around some other people that also want to learn Spanish with me, and so it's got this like radiating effect of like being bilingual is cool. Being bilingual is cool, and that's what I want to do. And so I think that's going to be awesome. I also think it's extremely important as far as like opening up more working opportunities, occupational opportunities. You know, being able to speak multiple languages is very, I think, intriguing, and it's very predominant in the U.S. today. I think I could say, in the least. And so I've been picking that up. Been doing a little bit of Duolingo. That's been going really well. I know it's not kind of the best route to completely teach yourself. I'm sure at some point I'll pick up some textbooks, but as you guys can see over here, I got some textbooks right here that I really need to keep chipping away at before I pick those up, right? Otherwise, I'm going to miss out on the stuff that I want to be doing right now. And so, what does that mean? What am I saying? I'm having a blast. I'm doing a lot of different stuff right now, and I guess there's kind of like the what is it? The jack of all trades, master of none. That's not necessarily what I want to be. I want to be a great programmer. I want to be a great like website programmer. I want to be a great fluent Spanish speaker. I want to be a great photographer and video content creator for people that brings kind of their concepts to life. And I want to be a jujitsu genius, a prodigy, a kind of mentor to people. And I gotta say, the jujitsu, it's been a little brutal recently, you know, managing the injuries and stuff, but I was informed to take a couple weeks off. And so this is actually like my second week off. And, or I'm going into the second week off. This is my first week off. As you guys can tell, I think I'm using my time wisely because I'm getting to do a bunch of stuff. But it is unfortunate that, you know, I'm not working on it as much as I want to be. And that part kind of sucks. But it's okay because I know that when I get back in there, I'm going for that grind. I'm going for that grind, and I can't wait. I just miss it so much. It's going to feel so good to step on the mats and just have fun, you know, just have fun and just be in that environment. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. As far as reading and stuff goes, the Gulag is going a little slow right now because I'm just like, I've been doing, I feel like, it all the time. And I've only getting like a couple pages in at night. And so we're still working through The Law Becomes a Man, and we're working through those cases. And they're detrimental, to say the least. Just kind of shows like the leading, what should have been used as foresight into what the future was going to be. And but the future is always a hard thing to predict, right? But it still kind of like it produced an environment that was promoting negativity and suffering for human beings, and I don't think it was good, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I think that's kind of where we're at. You know, he's kind of saying like, what if we predicted the future by actually paying attention to the psychological aspects of these cases and these trials? And so that's where we're at with that. We're going to keep chipping away at that. But all in all, I think that's pretty much everything I got for this week. I think, you know, emotionally, at least for me, I have to really try to point myself in the direction of what I'm feeling. And even if I'm not feeling the best, I still need to point myself in that direction because that means that I'm going to make inevitable progress. Right. And so, with that kind of mindset and that philosophy, that pushes our boundaries, that pushes our barriers, that makes it harder to learn. It makes it difficult. You know, a little bit of strain means that we're pushing our retention limits. We're learning, and to me, that's important, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys tuned in and you're like, man, that guy, he's helping me get through some stuff. Or like, man, I can relate with that guy. Or like, man, he has no idea what he's doing, and I don't either. And yes, yes, I agree. Yes. But I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys are enjoying this weather in Ohio. It's starting to heat up a little bit again, and so that's awesome. It was a little chillier, colder, you know, a little rainier earlier in the week, but this coming week, I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. That seasonal depression, hopefully it's shedding off. And so hope you guys take advantage of that. Hope you guys enjoy that. You know, if you guys like this, leave a comment. See you next week. Rolling with Reason, baby. Number 34. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Stay resilient, embrace the struggle, and keep moving forward.